Gamer here, and you already know the drill. 4.7 Spiral Abyss. Let's get this over with.
Adorn my night! The wind knows me. You're built to swallow. Remember, bow your head. Be sanctified. Settle down.
We got teamwork and streamwork! Game's up! Time's over. Laid to bear. Everlasting as the moon!
I will have order. Stabilize.
Overruled! Shower me with praise! Time to shine!
Clouds high. The birds call. Into the wind.
Forget to receive!
Taking a grip. Bow your head. The time's beckoning. Solidify.
Go in! Here comes the catch. Laid to bear. This is better. Overruled. Everybody stand back! Laid to bear.
Mind the side effects. Remember, hulk up the silence. Falling leaves. Adorn my... Be sanctified.
Let my name echo in song! Transfixed! Let's light it up! Teamwork is...
eternal oasis at long last.
Time to shine!
The clouds high, the birds call. Bow your head. Seems like an emergency. One with nature. Settle down, let the mighty be humble.
Let the world
Fallen leaves, adorn my night. Chip, share. Be sanctified.
time to shine!
A bitter pill to swallow. Taking a turn for the silence.
Illusion This play's getting a little busted. Busted, rebuild. Share my knowledge. Game's up. Time's over. Torn to oblivion. There is no escape. Billowing surge. Allow me. Run. Gotcha. Make yourselves at home. Take it easy. No. Here comes the patch. Shine down. Now you shall perish.
The clouds high, the birds call. Chip, chip. Remember, health comes first. Settle down. Let the mighty be humble. Cheap tricks. Cut down you
Time to shine.
into the wind. Fallen leaves, adorn my mind the side effects. Seems like an emergency. Silence. Be sanctified. An oversight on my part.
Strike a pose. The doctor will see.
Silence!
There is no it. A minute to memory. Sharing my knowledge. Covenants of the deep.
for this Spiral Abyss run. So, honestly, this Abyss isn't really that bad. It's not as bad as 4.6 Abyss, but it's still kind of easy. I guess the only thing that could probably trip you up is the Pyrolectors, and as well as the Scorpion and the Vulture. That's pretty much your only threats on this Spiral Abyss. Other than that, it's kind of easy. So, yeah. Well, I have to address something first before we get on to, well, the quick overview of the floors itself. The reason why I completed it with 6 out of 9 stars is because I died too early. Yeah, I died too early on Chamber 3. So instead of just, retrying and just complete, Chamber 3, I just exited out and then just completed floor 12 without resetting. So yeah, because I knew it could be done, and I did it. So yeah, there you go. I just didn't want to edit any cuts in. So yeah, I just want to edit the footage raw. So there you go. That's the reason why I completed it with 6 out of 9 stars. So yeah. But, well, anyways, enough about that. It's time to talk about the floors. So I am going to be talking about these in brief detail. Because, well, I mean, if you've been on this channel for long enough, you know why. It's because I have the commentary video to make. So yeah. So if you want to know more information about floor 11 and floor 12, make sure to check out the commentary video, which is going to come out very soon. So yeah. Well, anyways, time to go over the brief rundown for these floors. So yeah. So floor 11, Chamber 1, it's a monolith floor, so you have to protect it. The first half isn't really that bad. It's just pyro and electro slimes. The second half, though, is a complete nightmare, because the Cryo Slime has that one attack where it does a Frosty Breath attack, and there goes 15% of your monolith if he does land it. So yeah, my only advice for this chamber is to take out this thing as soon as possible. So yeah. For Chamber 2, it's not really that bad. The only thing that'll basically trip you up is the second half with these water phantasms. These things are tanky as crap. So yeah, bring out your best Pyro character, bring out your best Cryo character, bring out your best Dendro character, Electro. Basically anything that can react to this enemy, and you should be good. Well, at least should be good if you properly built your characters, of course. The Vishaps aren't really a problem. All they do is just do roly-poly stuff. So yeah, you can't just catch them. They're not really as bad as the Phantasms. So the Phantasms is what you have to worry about. For Chamber 3, it's not really that bad either. The only threat that you could possibly face is the Jade Plume Terror Shroom. And well, you already fought this thing in the previous Abyss, if you did play the previous Abyss. So yeah, it's not really that bad, really. So, yeah, all I'm gonna say is bring Electro and Pyro, and this thing is done for. It's cooked. It's rotisserie. So yeah. Well, that is floor 11. It's not really that bad. I still have to explain it though because it's floor 11. So yeah. There's always gonna be new stuff in floor 11. So yeah. And floor 12. Oh boy, floor 12. I did say it's not that bad, and you could probably see why right here. So, Chamber 1. The only enemies that you have to worry about is the Elector and the Black Serpent Knight. So, if you don't know these guys' mechanics, the Flame Lector is, well, you gotta bring Hydro characters, and nothing more, nothing less. Because you need to take out their shields as fast as possible. They love to do passive damage to you, by the way, so make sure you bring healers as well. And don't forget to not bring a shield either, because Black Serpent Knights, well, you already know how these guys work. If you bring a shield character, or if it hits a shield, then bad things are gonna happen, like it activating its mechanics. So yeah, you don't want that to happen. So, well, the best advice I could give you is bring Hydro characters for the second half. For first half, just bring Electro characters because of these things. You can also bring Dendro as well because it also reacts to Dendro, so yeah. So basically, my advice for floor 12 is bring Dendro, Electro for first half, bring Hydro for second half. And you'll see why in a moment in Chamber 2. So yeah, as you see here, well, the first half is the Magu Kenki. Remember this thing from the previous Spiral Abyss? Yeah, it's literally the same thing here, except that it is solo. Instead of it being with the Cryo and Animo variant, it's just solo. Yeah, it's just that. well, you could just quickly burst it down and there you go. That's it. For second half, it's just a variety of enemies. The only things you have to worry about is the Rift Hounds. But other than that, it's pretty easy. So, yeah. And Chamber 3. Remember when I said bring Electro and Dendro characters? This is why over here. The Network, the Overseer. So, yeah. When it goes invisible, you have to destroy its appendages. And once you destroy its appendages, you could just do Electro or Dendro. Dendro is faster, by the way, because you could literally just attack the thing instead of Electro, where you have to attack the appendages. So yeah, just bring Electro and Dendro, you should be good. For second half, remember when I said you should bring a Hydro character? It's not just for Chamber 1, it's for Chamber 3 as well, because you have to deal with Pyro Slingers, Stern Shield Crabs, which have Pyro Shields, and then the Red Vulture, which also has a Pyro Shield. Also, Hydro also reacts to Electro as well, because you have the Scorpion and the Seahorse. So yeah, make sure you bring the corresponding elements, and then, well, hopefully you could beat this in under 3 minutes. So yeah, and that's basically it for floor 12. Again, it's not really that bad. It's just a couple of enemies that will probably give you trouble, but as long as you have properly built teams and have good team comps, you should be fine. So yeah. Well, anyways, enough about that. It's time to talk about the teams I used. So yeah. Well, anyways, without any further ado, let's get this started. Let's talk about floor 12, the floor 12 first half team. And the first member of that team is Raiden Shogun, the best Electro character in the game. Changed my mind. So yeah. Well, Raiden hasn't changed that much. She has crit rate, crit damage, ER at 300%. For weapon, I have Engulfing Lightning, which is her best weapon. For her best free-to-play weapon, it is the catch. So get fishing in Fontaine, and you will get one of the best pole arms in the game. You get fish for Fontaine, you can fish in Mondstadt, but I'm pretty sure fishing in Mondstadt and Liwa will get you the catch in no time, so make sure you fish in those areas. So yeah, the catch is her best 4-star weapon. Engulfing Lightning is her best 5-star weapon. As for artifact set, 4-piece Emblem of Severed Fate. This is her best artifact set. Good for main DPS, sub DPS, and support. So yeah, literally her best artifact set. No questions asked. As for constellations, I have her C2. C2 Raiden is just a different beast altogether because, well, look at this. Ignore 60% defense. Yeah, that thing is way too broken. And it's C2, by the way. So yeah, it's kind of easy to get, but it's also kind of a big investment too. But if you get her C2, you won't regret it. It's pretty good. But at the same time, Raiden doesn't need constellations to be good. You could just have her C0 and be a sub DPS and she works fine as well. You can also have her as a support at C0 and she works fine too. Giving energy to her party members. So yeah, she doesn't need constellations, but if you want to run her as a main DPS, C2 is just a cherry on top. So yeah. And as for talents, I have 10, 10, 10. I main her. So yeah, of course I have to triple crown her. She is still one of the best characters in the game. I will still stand by that. So yeah. And next up is also one of the best characters in the game. We have Nahida, the best Dendro character in the game. So yeah, as you see here, she has high EM. She has decent crit rate, crit damage with decent ER. She doesn't need ER because her, well, burst cost is literally 50. Yeah, and she gets it back too because of her E. So yeah. Well, as for her weapon, I have 1,000 Floating Dreams. Her best weapon for sure. It literally supports her party members, increases the elemental type attack. Yeah, it's literally her best weapon. As for her best free-to-play weapon, it is the 3-star weapon, the Magic Guide. Yeah, you know, the one that boosts electro and pyro damage if you are affected by it. So yeah, it is really, really good. You can literally use Dendro and then affect it with Pyro or Electro and you get the damage boost. So yeah, it's extremely broken. So yeah, Magic Guide as her best free-to-play weapon. 1,000 Floating Dreams as her best weapon. As for artifact set, I have Deep Wood Memories, her best set overall. Well, as a main Dendro applicator, of course. If Nahida isn't your main Dendro applicator, then her best set is Gilded Dreams. But I have Nahida as my main applicator always, so her best set for me is Deepwood Memories. So you can exchange it either way, or you can have her with Deepwood, you can have her with Gilded. But just remember, if Nahida is your main applicator, give her Deepwood. If she is not, give her Gilded Dreams. As for constellations, I have her at C2. C2 Nahida is just a different beast altogether. She is just, well, there's only one word to say, cracked. She's just cracked. As you see here, with her C1, she literally gives her passive talent one more number. So basically, you don't have to bring, as you see here, 2 characters. Yeah, you could reduce that 2 to 1 character. So yeah, so all you need is to bring 1 Pyro, 1 Electro, or 1 Hydro, and you get the full boost right here. 40%, 0.67 seconds, or 9.03 seconds. So yeah, it's extremely good. A great constellation to have. And that's not all. Her C2 gives her flat 20% and 100% crit damage if it is a bloom reaction or burning. So yeah, pretty good. And within 8 seconds of quicken, aggravate, and spread, you basically decrease the defense of the enemy by 30%. Yeah, combine this with Raiden's 60% ignore defense. Yeah, it is extremely busted. You can see why Nahida is pretty good. This also works well with her other great teammates as well, like I'll Hate Them or Saido or whatever you want to use her with, because she literally fits in every single team. So yeah. And as for talents, I have 6, 10, 10. You only level this up if you want your Nahida to be a main Dendro applicator, but since she is not a main Dendro applicator, by the way, DPS, I mean by main Dendro applicator DPS. I forgot to mention the DPS part, my bad. If you want to run Nahida as a main Dendro applicator DPS, then yes, level this up first. If you are going to be running her as a sub DPS, then level these 2 up. It really doesn't matter what you level up first. I just leveled up, in my opinion, level up her skill first because it is extremely good. It gives her all the damage she needs. And then level up this second, which basically buffs your party. So yeah. So, well, as for the order of the talent, if you want to run her as a sub DPS, level this up first. If you want her as a support, level this up first. If you want to run her as a main DPS, level this up first. So yeah, literally, she is perfect. Really, really good Dendro character. The best in the game. I don't think anyone could top her at this point. So yeah. And next up, we have one of the best Hydro sub DPSs in the game. We got Yelan, who is beyond cracked in this game. So yeah, she's kind of old, but she's still good. So yeah. Well, as you see here, she has 30k HP with crit rate, crit damage, and ER. So yeah, pretty much kind of balanced at this point. As for weapon, I have Aqua Simulacra, which is her best weapon. This is her main weapon, which also increases her HP by 16% and also increases the damage of the wielder by 20%, which is really, really good. So yeah, as for her best free-to-play weapon, it's definitely the Stringless. Just give her the Stringless. As for artifact set, I have Emblem of Severed Fate. This is definitely her best set in general because she is a sub DPS. But if you are going to be running Yelan as a main DPS, then just run any other hydro damage set. That is basically her best set. But Emblem of Severed Fate is her best sub DPS set because it increases her elemental burst damage. And her kit is all about the elemental burst. As for constellations, I have her at C0. That's because she doesn't need constellations to be good. I guess if you want to give her constellations, you could just give her C1, which basically gives you twice the particles. So yeah, that basically gives your burst faster. But on C6 though, she is definitely one of the best characters in the game because all of her normal attacks are the barb attacks, which means it is her normal charge shot. Yeah, her normal charge shot becomes her normal attack. So yeah, that means she is probably one of the best main DPSs in the entire game if you have her C6. So yeah. And as for talents, I have 6, 7, 10. I am still kind of trying to level this up, but as you see here, I don't have talent materials. So yeah. But her burst is definitely her main thing you want to level up. Of course, if you're going to be running her as a main DPS, C6, level this up first. So yeah. Well, anyways, there is Yelan. Still good to this very day. One of the best Hydro sub DPSs in the game. And now, the best, or one of the best healers in the game, also one of the best, well, the only best Hydro healer in the game, because Barbara is kind of compared to Kokomi, is Sangonomiya Kokomi. So yeah, Kokomi has still been good to this very day. Even though in her debut people say that she is pretty bad, she is pretty good. And she's still good to this day because of Dendro teams. So yeah, as you see here for Kokomi, she has pretty decent max HP. She has pretty good ER. There's a reason for that, and that's because I want to get her burst fast for heals. So yeah. As for weapon, I have Thrilling Tales of Dragon Slayers. This is definitely her best free-to-play weapon. So yeah. As for her best weapon in general, it's still Thrilling Tales. Yeah, surprisingly, it's still Thrilling Tales. That's because if you switch off of Kokomi, which is pretty often, since you're gonna be using her as a support, she basically gives 48% attack because, well, you could get this R5 easily for 10 seconds for her party members. 48% attack. That is nothing to scoff at. So yeah, definitely her best weapon. It is a HP percent weapon, 3-star, easy to R5. Yeah, this is definitely her best weapon for sure. As for artifact set, I have Tenacity of the Millilith, which is her best support set. As for her main DPS set, her best set is, of course, Oceans. So yeah, you can run Oceans for main DPS. And I forgot to mention this, but her best weapon on main DPS is definitely her Purple Donut. So yeah, run the Purple Donut if you want to make her a main DPS. But as for artifacts, as I said before, Tenacity is her best artifact set because it combos well with Thrilling Tales, which basically gives you 48% attack, along with the 20% attack for party members. So yeah, so that is basically a 68% attack boost, which is really, really good. So yeah, as for the, well, main DPS, Oceans, of course, because it gives you flat 30k damage per, I think, 5 seconds. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, that is basically Oceans. So you either run Tenacity for support or Oceans Hued Clam for the main DPS set. As for Constellations, I have her at C1. She is also one of the few characters in the game who doesn't need Constellations to be good. I got this by accident, and what I mean by accident is I'm gonna be plugging a video at the end of the outro. Make sure you watch it. It's the Kokomi summoning video. You'll see what I mean. It's a meme on my channel. And as for talents, I have 7, 9, 8. Still trying to level these up, but again, as I said before, I don't have mats. Yahoo! I love not having mats. So yeah, Kokomi, still pretty good to this very day. You can literally level all of this up because she uses all of it. For her burst, it levels up her normal attack. Her E levels up her healing. And leveling up her burst levels up her healing as well. So yeah, pretty good character to invest in, definitely. So yeah, there's Kokomi. Still one of the best Hydro characters in the game, if not the best Hydro character in the game. So yeah. And now it's time to move on to the second half team. So the first member of the second half team is Monsieur Neuvillette. So yeah, Monsieur Neuvillette is, well, as you see here, max HP is pretty high, crit rate, crit damage is pretty high too, with no ER because he doesn't need ER because he literally just creates the particles himself. So yeah. As for weapon, I have Tome of Eternal Flow, which is definitely his best weapon for sure. It basically increases the charge attack damage by 14% at a max of 3 stacks. So imagine 3 stacks on this thing. Yeah. Really nothing to be said. As for his best free-to-play weapon, it's the Wit Sith. It's literally any DPS's best Catalyst weapon, or any Catalyst main DPS's best free-to-play weapon. It's the Wit Sith. So yeah, Wit Sith or Tome of Eternal Flow. As for artifact set, I have Maritrice Hunter, which is his best set because it increases his normal and charge attack damage. And what does he do? He does charge attacks. So yeah. As for his constellations, I have him at C1. He doesn't need C1 anymore because you can literally just run Zhongli, or you can be a cracked gamer and abuse invincibility and dash iframes to basically deal as much damage as you can while avoiding it. For C1 though, it basically opens up more team options for him because he doesn't get staggered when you use his charge attack. So yeah, that's basically his constellation. He just doesn't get staggered when he does a charge attack. So basically it opens up more team options for him, which is pretty cool. As for his talents, I have 10, 6, 8. The only level up stat you can just run is level, normal attack. You just level up his normal attack because he loves to do charge attacks. His E and Q just gives him a bunch of particles or orbs, and all he needs to do is absorb the orbs to do damage. So yeah, that's basically it. So there's Mr. Neuvillette, still the best DPS in the game in my opinion. He's just unrivaled at this point. So yeah. And next up, we have the best Hydro character in the game, also a contender for one of the best characters in the game, Lady Furina. So yeah, Lady Furina, as you see here, with pretty decent max HP, crit damage, high ER, and that's because I run her as a support. So yeah. As for her weapon is Splendor of Tranquil Waters, which is definitely her best weapon. She has actually 2 best free-to-play weapons. So her first weapon, if you're a true OG player who has played Genshin ever since 1.2, you could use the Festering Desire. So yeah, you can just run the Festering Desire. I do have it, but you know who's using the Festering Desire right now? It's my Jean. Yeah, my Jean is using the Festering Desire. So yeah. And as for her other best weapon, it is the Ferryman. Yeah, the Ferryman, which is a sword that you get by fishing in Fontaine. So yeah, you can either run the Fisherman's sword, aka the Ferryman, or you can run the Festering Desire if you're an OG player, because both of those are extremely good swords that basically combo well with her kit. So yeah, it really depends on what you want to use, but Ferryman is permanent. You can literally just get it by fishing. As for, well, OG players, you get another option too. And, well, for those spenders out there, or for those Primo Gem savers, just get her weapon, which is pretty good. And besides, her banner's coming up soon. So, yeah, make sure you get this weapon because it is extremely good. As for her best artifact set, it is Golden Troop for sub DPS and support Furina. So yeah, this definitely helps her out a lot. Her burst basically increases damage that she deals, and it combos well with Golden Troop as well because Golden Troop increases elemental skill damage. And guess what she is good at? She is good at sub DPSing. So yeah, it is extremely good. As for other artifact sets, you can basically customize your Furina however you want. She is extremely flexible to that point. You can run her with Maidens. You can run her with Maritre's Hunter if you want to make her a main DPS, C6. You can also run her with other stuff like Noblesse. If you want to run Noblesse, it's pretty good because you can just use your Elemental Burst and that increases attack damage, which is pretty nice. You can basically run her with whatever you want. You can run her with Oceans if you want to run a sub DPS Furina that is also a healer. So yeah, basically your options are extremely wide open for you to choose. But as for me, I went for Golden Troop because, in my opinion, I believe it is the set that I am the most comfortable with for my Furina. So yeah. As for constellations, I have her at C2. As a main DPS, you want to run her at C6 because she gets hydro damage applicated on her normal attacks. But, of course, that is whale territory, so we're not going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about the sub-DPS and support Furina instead. So, for sub-DPS, you don't need constellations, because her main damage is going to be her E, not her burst. So, yeah. But, for support Furina, definitely you want her C2, because it'll make your life 100 times easier if you're going to be running Furina C2. But she definitely doesn't need C2. You can just run her at C0. But, you'll see what I mean once I talk about them. So, on her C2, she accelerates the fanfare of her burst. And if you exceed the fanfare limit, you get max HP. And guess what? Max HP scales off of. It scales off of her E. Her E scales off of max HP. And, well, the more max HP you have, the higher your damage your E is, which combos well with this. That is the reason why I made her a sub-DPS support hybrid. As for her C1, she increases the fanfare limit by 100, so she gets a 400 limit fanfare with 150 to start. With accelerated fanfare, by the way, at C2. So yeah, this basically just makes her a beast. You can literally get max fanfare in under like 5 seconds, which is extremely, extremely broken. And as for talents, I have 6, 10, 10. Definitely, if you want to level up support Farina, level this up first. For sub DPS, level this up first. And for main DPS, of course, normal attack. So yeah, basically the same as Nahida. So yeah, it's pretty good for Lady Farina. Still definitely one of the best Hydro characters in the game, if not the best Hydro character in the game. There's a lot of Hydro characters that are extremely good in this game. So yeah. And next up, we have the best animal character in the game. Definitely a contender for one of the best characters in the game as well. Kazuha, Kaidehara Kazuha. So I see here, don't build him like I did. I built him as a hybrid of basically everything, which basically makes him mid. It makes him a jack of all trades. Yeah, you don't want a jack of all trades Kazuha. You either want him to lean on EM, or you want to lean him on sub DPS, which is crit rate, crit damage. So yeah, never any of the two. Basically making him a jack of all trades. Don't make him a jack of all trades. Either make him a support with high EM, or make him a sub DPS with crit rate, crit damage. So yeah. But as you see here, I made him a jack of all trades anyway, because I want to maximize both. So I see here, 500 EM. Crit rate, crit damage is basically at a bare minimum, with minimum ER. Yeah, you don't know how long this took me to even get. So yeah. As for weapon, I have Freedom Sworn. It is his best weapon for sure. Basically gives him a lot of EM, increases damage on Swirl, basically supports a lot of party members as well. Definitely his best weapon. As for his best free-to-play weapon, it is the Iron Sting. Yeah, his best weapon is the Iron Sting. So yeah, you can either run this and invest, or you can literally craft for 5 minutes. Or, well, you can literally just farm materials for 5 minutes, make 5 of these things if you have 5 billets, and then just make Iron Sting R5. So yeah. As for artifact set, I have Viridis Adventurer. This is definitely his best set. Literally, he's an animal character. He's an animal support as well. He decreases elemental res and increases swirl damage. That is his main gameplay. So yeah. As for constellations, I have him at C0. He doesn't need constellations to be good. He's literally good enough as it is. His kit is just extremely broken. But if you want to make him a main DPS, C6 is the way to go, because you get animal infusion on your normal attacks. And as for talents, I have 6, 8, 10. The main stat you want to level up, or the main skill you want to level up, is Kazuha Slash, because that is where all of his bread and butter is. So yeah. And that is Kazuha. Still one of the best animal characters in the game, in my opinion. So yeah. And last but not least, we have the best Dendro healer in the game, because there's literally only one other Dendro healer, which is Yao Yao. So yeah. But we have Baiju, who is a contender for one of the best Dendro characters in the game. So yeah. And I see here, we have 40k HP with energy recharge, with not that much EM, because he doesn't really need EM. As for his weapon, I have Prototype Amber. This is his best free-to-play weapon for sure, because it literally gives him energy, and it gives him HP healing. So yeah, extremely good. As for his best free-to-play weapon, it's definitely his own weapon, which is really good. His best main weapon. I forgot to say main weapon. Yeah, it is his own donut. But as for his best free-to-play weapon, it's definitely the Prototype Amber. As for artifact set, I have Deepwood Memories. He is a main Dendro applicator on the Neuvillette team. So I gave him the Deepwood Memories set, which is, well, really good on him, because he is a main Dendro applicator on the team. So yeah, as for if you don't have him as a main Dendro applicator, of course, run Gilded Dreams, just like Nahida. You either run Deepwood or you run Gilded Dreams on him. as for constellations, I have him at C0. He doesn't need constellations to be good. He's literally as good as it is. His main purpose is to heal, so he doesn't need more constellations to do so. Unless you want to do double Cheng Sheng and just do a double E. So yeah, to get particles back. But he doesn't need that either if you have him at high ER. And as for talents, I have 6, 6, 7. I'm still trying to level this up to level 10, but again, as I said before, no mats. So yeah. But there is Baiju, extremely good, the best central healer in the game, or a contender for one of the best healers in the game. So yeah. And that is it for this, well, Spiral Abyss. So yeah. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like down below. And if you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell if you do subscribe to not miss out on a single Genshin upload. As well as FGO, because I do FGO content now. If you love that stuff, make sure you do those things down below. And also, thank you guys so much if you do like and subscribe, because the support is greatly appreciated. It fuels my passion to make these videos on YouTube. So seeing your support, your continued support and gratitude really gratifies me. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I wouldn't be here without you guys. So yeah. And, well, comment down below. What do you think of this Spiral Abyss? You think it's easy? You think it's hard? You think there are other team combos that you use to beat this Spiral Abyss? What are your teams that you use to beat this Spiral Abyss? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, thank you guys for watching this Spiral Abyss video, and I'll see you guys in the next Genshin video.